Hello everybody and welcome to the craft along with the Cricut Easy Cricut Christmas Crafts. Say that 10 times fast. I tried it once slowly and I couldn't get it right. I'm so excited to be here today. We are going to be doing a few fun quick crafts that obviously you may have seen in the preview and that I've got lined up behind me. So one of the things that we're going to do is we are going to make Christmas baubles with a floating thing on the inside. So we're going to use acetate, vinyl, and maybe some other fun things to add in to make it so like there's a bauble and there's something inside, but it's actually sitting there in the bauble, and it's not just like, lying around or falling down or anything like that. It's actually going to stand up and you can see through it. It is awesome. Another one of my favorite Christmas crafts is making little kind of charms. So I'm going to be using white acrylic, white perspex, and we're going to be using infusible ink and kind of essentially sublimating onto it. Now, we're going to get a little bit more into the nitty gritty of what type of acrylic you're going to need for that kind of thing, but you won't really need anything super specific. It just depends on the kind of finish that you're looking for at the end. And then one of the other crafts that I'd like to get to is also, again, a nice super easy one where we're going to take a bowl and we're going to make a fun little decorated element on it, and something that's going to be reusable. So you're not going to have to worry about using a bowl only for Christmas. You can use it all year round. And I think I'm going to take my glasses off now, even though I normally wear them. The glares are a little bit too much and I don't really need them for now. So I'm very excited to chat to you guys all today. I see there's lots of you join on the stream and it makes me very, very happy. I'm very excited. Lots of us saying hi. Hi Luca, Tina, Anu, Dominique, Crafty Mom. Hi Crafty Mom. Jessica's here. Brenda, and my mom is here as well, Tina. So excited to see you guys all here. I'm like hectically into Christmas at the moment, this year for some reason, and I'm very excited for all of these crafts. I'm very excited for everything that Cricut and Christmas has to offer, just because, there's just so many different fun things that you can do, and I'm just so excited to, chat to you guys. So I'm just going to pop out the chat so that I can read it a little bit easier. Ooh, we have somebody joining us from California. Hi, Christine. And Nani's journey is here as well. Welcome. I'm super excited to be here. And I think what we're going to do is, if you guys have any suggestions of a craft that you want to see me do, I've obviously got lots of things in my room, so I might even be able to help with a Cricut craft or something like that. You can leave a message. May not see all of the messages, so if you want to leave a super chat, then that will be much easier to be seen. I'm very excited to make things for you and help you guys, and then we'll do another stream through later, maybe next week, maybe during the week or something like that, to see what we're gonna do. So I'm very, very excited. Hi Kat from Denmark. Ooh, Nani's from coastal Georgia. Lovely. I love seeing people from all around the world. I mean, I'm in South Africa, and I know that a lot of my people, a lot of people that follow me on social media, also from South Africa. So it's awesome to see so many people from the US and other countries as well. That's kind of why I like doing it at this time zone, because I think it's a little bit better for majority of people. Okay. Dream Big is from Texas. Ooh, lovely. Diana. Great. Jacqueline's from the Netherlands. Ooh. I would say something in Dutch, but I know I'd probably stuff it up, even though Afrikaans is very similar to Dutch, but let's not go there. Okay. Kat is from Delaware. Thea is from PE. Welcome. Is it PE or is it I'm gonna mess up that name if I say it as well, because I'm not gonna get the clicks right. I'm not even going to try, because I'm going to make myself sound bad. Okay, so let's take a look at what we're going to go with. And let me just add on Great. Okay, so we're going to look at, this is what we're going to make, essentially. We're going to start with the bauble element, and this is kind of what it's going to look like, right? So what I've done, and I'm going to take you through the entire process. It's really, really easy, and Jalila, also from Cape Town. Great. I'm also in Cape Town. Yay. I'm in the northern suburbs. All right. So we've got two different designs that I've combined here. So essentially what we're going to do, I'm going to put that off to the side so that we can keep it to one side. So I have this bauble. All right. And it's a very pretty bauble, as you can see. It's got like a little bit of a rainbowish hue to it. Now, I don't know where you can get these in South Africa or in Cape Town or on Amazon, maybe. These ones, I'm not going to lie, I got them from Shein. They obviously take quite a while to arrive sometimes, but they're quite pretty, so that's why I figured I would try these. And they're small. I've got a small Christmas tree, so I wanted to try, you know, something a little bit small. So what I did was I first measured the bauble. Now the bauble is 5 centimeters. So we're going to start by adding a 5 centimeter shape, or just a circle, to the canvas. And then we're going to change the size of the circle. So I'm going to come up to the top, and even though it's 5.08, it's a little bit too big. So I'm just going to highlight that number and say 5. Now we have the kind of the size of the acetate that we want to make. So now we want to add a little thing at the top to stop it from moving around, because if we leave it just as a circle, it's going to move around, and then that's not what we want. So I'm going to go shapes again and add in a square. And this square, I'm going to make the width about 1.9, because that's the size of the little section at the top here. So what I've done is I've just measured up this little section right at the top that sticks up over here, and that was about 2 centimeters. So I've just put in there 1.9 because I want it to be just a little bit smaller than that. And it might take a while for my camera to refocus, but that's all right. There we go. Okay. While that refocuses, now what we do is we need to stick it up at the top here. All right, so it's going to jut out a little bit from the top. But we need to make sure that it's all going to be level, that it's all going to be in line, because you don't want it, you know, a little bit off to the side. So I'm going to select both of them, hit align, and align center horizontally. And let's just try and get this to focus again. I don't know why it doesn't, sometimes it doesn't like focusing. And then once we've got that outlined, we need to make it all one shape. So if we had to cut it like this, it'll cut out each of those little elements. So we can go right click, combine, and then weld. I would show you at the bottom, but my face is overlapping the little bottom section, so can't show you there. So what I'm going to do is now we just need to essentially cut that out of our acetate section. Now I'm going to add something on top of it so we can cut that out of vinyl. And this is why I showed you these are nice, easy, quick crafts. So I'm just going to go into the images, and I searched for bauble and snow. Of course, you can put whatever you want on the bauble. There's lots of different options. I like the idea of adding something snowy onto it because I have little polystyrene balls that I want to add inside, so they like shake around and stuff. And Fred is lying next to me and he's having a nice bath. Do you guys also have pets that craft with you as well? It's quite cute. He just sits here and has a good old time. And I'm just going to scroll down for the one that I wanted. It was you guys saw in the beginning, the Let It Snow one. But there are so many gorgeous, gorgeous ones. And the reason why I like the bauble, to add bauble in the word specifically, is because it mostly gives you round things that you don't have to change. I mean, there are lots of print and cut ones, so if you really wanted to like refine your results, you could just change the operation type and have it only, you know, single cut. But it should be fine. It works. There's lots of usable options that we did I go past it? Was I I was too busy concentrating on other stuff, on Fred. Oh, there we go. All right. Okay. See, this is why we have you guys in the chat. Thank you, Kat. 10 points to Gryffindor, or whatever team you're from. Okay, so I'm going to add it to my canvas. And then I'm going to change the size and make it a little bit smaller as well. All right. Now, what I like to do is make sure that it'll fit inside the little bauble. So I don't want it to be too small because I don't want the vinyl to be too difficult to cut. Because, I mean, this is 5 centimeters, so it is going to be very refined and very small. And what I'm going to do is, now the contour button is right underneath my head, like literally over here in design space. So I'm just going to click contour, and it'll bring up this panel. Now this panel has changed a lot in the past couple of weeks, and it irritates me because it now has no logic. There's no logical order to how they've changed it. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on the bauble because I want to invert the design. I don't want the bauble there. And then I'm just going to also remove that little section at the top there because I don't need that either. And that's it. That's all I'm going to change. So now, instead of having the bauble around it, we've actually just got the design. You can even remove the thing at the bottom if you want, because we're going to have polystyrene in it, and that can probably just come out because we don't really need that little section. So I'm just going to actually remove a couple of these little dots. And I'm just going to have let it snow just like that. Now, I want to make sure that the design is going to fit. So I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger. And there we go. And that's it. That's all we need to do in terms of design. We don't need to do anything else. We now just need to actually make the project, which is great. So I'm going to switch you over to my overhead camera, and as soon as we've done the test cut, or as soon as we've saved, so we save the project, save your project before you make it, and then we're going to hit make it. It's going to connect to the machine. So we're going to cut the vinyl first, and then we're going to cut the acetate afterwards. So we're going to continue. Oh, I love making all these little quick Christmas crafts. They are so much fun. So much fun. And then the vinyl, I'm going to cut on... I want to cut it on premium vinyl permanent glossy, but I am going to put the pressure up to more, because when I did my test cut before the class, always do your test cuts, guys. You don't want to waste a whole page of things. It didn't quite cut through. So I think if I push the pressure up to more, it'll be good. Hi, Julia. Hi from Germany. Fantastic. Great to have you. So I'm going to put that pressure up to more, and then when we get to the next mat on the acetate, I'm going to cut it on the foil acetate sesh. What is the word now? Now the word has gone completely out of my mind. Setting. There we go. That's the word. All right. So that's what happens in these live streams. That's why they're so much fun, because they just are sometimes chaos from the word go. So we're just going to move the camera over here so that you can see me, and this camera over here as well. There we go. All right, so now you can see my work surface, my work area, and we have my craft mat, cutting mat. How many of you guys have worked with acetate before? Have you worked with baubles before? Have you made them? What? Is this the first time you're seeing a project like this? actually want to cut this out of white vinyl. We can do white, or we can do silver. What do you guys think? Should we cut it out of white, or should we cut it out of silver? Let's just turn that a little bit so you can see me. So this is going to be the Let It Snow part. I think we should do it out of white. What do you guys think? I'd love to... First time seeing this. Oh, great, Cat. And it's such an easy craft. It seems mentally intimidating, but I mean, you can also get templates for these things. And I know that Jennifer Maker has a whole bunch of templates on her website. There's lots of different ones. Now, do I have my white vinyl in here? Or is it on silver? Ooh, lots of people saying silver. Kat says silver. Louise says silver. I was not expecting that. I was sure everybody was going to say white. Is my silver in here as well? No, we only have cream and brown. That's fine. I don't want to use the silver behind me because that's smart vinyl and I don't really like it. Oh, Gina has, my mom has as well. That's awesome. I remember, this is, Mom, you actually kind of inspired this one. So this one's kind of for you, mostly. Okay, this is gray, not silver. Let's just check here quickly. Here we go. There is my silver. I know I have a whole whack of silver that I wanted to use. No, Fred. Fred? You want to lie under the bed? Under the bed blanket. There we go. See, now Fred has woken up. Okay. Nope. Now he wants to jump out of the He's trying to jump on top of my fish tank. No. No. He's always naughty. He loves crafting with me and being in the room when I craft, but he always wants to be naughty. Alright, so we're going to put the vinyl on the mats. And I'm just using the Cricut Premium vinyl. Oh, he's going to moan now. He wants to get out of the room. He's now woken up, you see? And now he wants to leave. Okay. So. Oh, there's a hair underneath there. I don't know if you guys can see. Actually looks quite funny. So we're going to load this into the machine. Please. Okay. And let the cat out of the room because he now wants to go out. So this is for the bauble. So we're going to make the actual bauble itself, and then it's for the vinyl that goes on the bauble. So I have just loaded it into the Cricut, and it's now busy cutting. That's I suppose the downside of crafting with pets. So every now and then they take a front seat. Okay, so Louise asked, is this permanent vinyl or non-permanent? So what irritates me a little bit about the naming conventions of Cricut is that they call it permanent vinyl. Permanent vinyl isn't actually permanent. It only really has a lifespan of 2 to 3 years, I think they said. So it's permanent as in you're going to have to pick it off, but it's not going to magically fall off after 2 years. I have 3-year vinyl or 2-year vinyl that I have downstairs in my living room on a canvas that is still on the canvas, and it's been 6 years since I made that. So Mr. Price Home has them. What are you referring to, Caroline? Sorry, I missed that. I'm not sure. Hi, Dre. Okay, so we're going to just take that out. I've already done my test cut, so I know that that cut setting is good. You can see how beautifully it cut there. And I'm going to change the camera angle quickly. I unfortunately don't have a super fancy setup, because those super fancy setups are very expensive. So unfortunately I have to move the camera around a little bit when I'm changing things, but it's fine. I won't need to show the Cricut again now. So now I'm going to cut the acetate. Now you'll notice that there's like a little film type thingy over it. That's to keep the acetate clean. So what you want to do with this is you can leave it on if you want, but I would recommend cutting off a rough section of the actual. Now you can see I've already cut one out of this acetate, so I'm going to just cut off roughly the amount of acetate that I need and leave the protective covering on the rest of the acetate. It is on both sides. If you get the Cricut clear one, it is on both sides, so I would recommend taking it off at least on the front. It doesn't matter if you leave the protector on the back, but you should absolutely take it off on the front, because you don't want it to not cut through. So I'm going to cut this now. Just load this into the machine, select the foil acetate setting on my in Cricut Design Space, and then cut that. So I always cut the acetate on foil acetate. I think it's just a little bit deeper, which is fine. Okay, so we're going to cut off this little section of the vinyl and save the rest of the sheet for another project. I'm causing absolute mayhem in my room. I should have done like a before and after, showing you guys what my room looks like before I stream, and then what it looks like afterwards, because it's always a shambles afterwards, an absolute shambles. So I like to try and, you know, clean up as I go a little bit. Hi, Christine. Welcome, welcome. Sure, there's 44 of you on the live stream. That is awesome. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so now the acetate has finished cutting as well. So we're gonna take that out of the machine, and we can see there it's cut through, and we can just pop that off. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now we're gonna go in for the weeding. Maybe I'll bring you guys a little bit closer. Now this one's always the tricky part, and this is a very small design, so for those of you that want to make it a little bit more difficult for yourself, choose a small design. If you want to make it a little bit easier for yourself, choose something that's not as intricate. So I'm going to pick out the small pieces on the inside first. Some of them have been picked out for me already because of the pressure setting. And then we just dig our weeding tool in, take out the small little inside pieces. If I can see that something is lifted up a little bit, I like to just press it down. Where can you get acetate from? Thea, I'm not sure where you... I think you said that you were from the US. So if you're from the US, you can get it from Amazon. It doesn't have to be Cricut acetate at all. Cricut acetate is just, it's just brand. If you're going to go for some nice acetate, you can go for Mylar. Mylar is probably going to be a bunch cheaper, and it's going to be the same thing. I mean, let's be real. I have a lot of Cricut products because I was a Cricut ambassador. So I got a lot of products by doing, you know, events and things like that for them. But that doesn't mean that all of their products are the best. Okay, now we pull back the backing very carefully because I want to make sure that all these little dots stay in. The dots are the worst. There we go. Also trying to do this with only one hand. I lost the dot in the eye. That's fine. Just place it back down and go back again. Yeah, so you can get them on Amazon. You can get them at most craft shops. Like for those of us in South Africa, you can get them at P&A. I know that many of the shops that sell Cricut things should sell acetate as well. So you should be able to get it from them too. Now I'm just weeding very slowly because I want to make sure that everything stays behind. And I don't have my glasses on either, so that adds another level of complexity. Oh yes, Kat, you can do it with your Cricut Joy. Absolutely. All of these projects, and honestly, you can do with your Cricut Joy. So it's just the sizing of things, you know, that you won't be able to do. So any of these projects you can do with your Cricut Joy. Absolutely. For sure. Ew, this vinyl is so sticky and it just leaves everything. It is great. There we go. I'm also going probably slower than what I normally would. Mainly, number one, because I don't have my glasses on. And number two, I want you guys to see how things go. So let's pull that back. Also, when I'm weeding, especially small things like this, I like to concentrate on one particular area at a time. Just make sure that I'm getting everything that needs to be taken off. There we go. There we go. Perfect. So now we've got a little, it's a little bit overexposed for you guys because it's white, but there we go. It's difficult to show you guys when it's white on the background. In the US, you can get acetate from any craft store like Michael's and Hobby Lobby. Yes, absolutely. If you want to go into a store, and like I said, if you want to get from Amazon, then you can also search for Mylar as well. Mylar is a great alternative, and it's also a little bit more budget friendly, which is really nice. Okay, now I'm going to use some Cricut transfer tape. I like to reuse my transfer tape, so you don't have to buy one thing of transfer tape and then use it one per project. I will use my transfer tape until I cannot get the vinyl to stick anymore. So I'm just going to apply it down. Use my scraper to scrape it on. And you also notice I'm not cutting it down to size. Whenever you cut it down to size, you're limiting that piece of transfer tape to smaller pieces. So I try not to do that as far as I can. And then I'm flipping it over and pulling the backing of the vinyl off the transfer tape. So I'm rolling it back. There we go. And if you get little pieces that are sticking to the backing and not transferring onto the transfer tape, you can just use your weeding tool and stick them back down. And I prefer, especially when it comes to small designs like this, I prefer using this premium permanent vinyl, whatever they call it. over smart vinyl, because the backing of smart vinyl is so thick that to use small little designs like this is actually really difficult. Use it until it stops sticking. Heck yes, absolutely. I mean, you can see mine has like pet hair. You can kind of see mine has pet hair in it, and it still works perfectly fine. Okay, so now this is going to be difficult for you guys to see because obviously it's clear. So I'm going to take the clear piece and I'm putting it right here in the middle. And I'm going to line this up. Now, if I wanted to line it up a little bit better, then I would use silicone paper, which I seem to have packed away. I know exactly where a piece is, though. So, silicone paper is great for when you're wanting to line things up. And maybe this isn't the best use of silicone paper because this design, the blank that we're putting it on, is clear. But what you can do is you can put your design onto the silicone paper, especially if you've got like a white something underneath, then that would work a bit better. Here it's going to be a little bit difficult. So I'm just going to have to eyeball it. But the vinyl won't stick to the silicone paper, so you can use that to place your design. And then we're just going to place our design onto our little bauble blank, the acetate. Use our scraper to get all of the bubbles out and make sure that it sticks really well. Make sure that everything is stuck down. And then we pull the transfer tape back, making sure that everything has transferred. Perfect, perfect, perfect. There we go. There we go. Absolutely love it. See, now we've used the transfer tape, but I've still retained it as a nice big piece of transfer tape. So now I haven't cut it down, and I can still make sure that I can use it for another project. Can use painter's tape to stick the acetate to the table so it doesn't move. Ah, good idea, Christy. See, people always around me always give me the best ideas and suggestions. It's amazing. Now, I would say this is the fun part, but it's not as fun because this stuff gets everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. I'm glad that you could see it, Kat. Yeah, it is a little bit difficult to try and capture on screen, but yeah. So we're going to take the little bauble and I'm going to pop the lid off. Now this part of the lid looks like it's metal, but it's actually that like super, super thin. It's almost like a thick foil. So it looks really nice, but it's nice and easy to use and move around on. Okay, so we're going to put that off to the side for now. And I'm going to take some of these awful polystyrene balls, and they actually leaked out of this packet, so I'm going to put them into something where they won't move around, and I don't have anything near me at this moment that I can grab them with. I'll just use this. So I'm going to take a bunch of polystyrene balls out. You can obviously add as much or as little as you want. Okay. And then I might even add 1 or 2 big ones. These are actually both double bagged. But that one still managed to pop through both of its bags. Kat says use a funnel. Oh, that's a good idea. You absolutely can. So I'm just going to put a few of these bigger ones in. And I've got a fan going on this side as well, so it's causing a little bit of a draft, but it's fine. See, these are the kinds of projects where if you have a few to do, it works actually out a lot easier. But I just have this little container, and then I just use this essentially as a little funnel. So I'm going to pop that in. You can also do this after you've put the acetate in, if you want. So we have these little baubles and little things in there. And now all you need to do is pretty much fold this. I keep going off camera because I'm so used to it being over there. Is just fold this and pop it in. And you can lift it up so that some of the snow goes in front, some of the snow goes behind, and then you just pop the lid back on. I always try and be delicate with these because I'm always so scared that I break them, even though I know that I won't. And I know there probably is a trick to that. There we go. There we go. A little bit difficult to see with the glare, but you can see it. You could even do this with black. This would look so beautiful when it's like backlit with a light or something like that. If I have to put my light on, looks very pretty. So it's super simple. You can put somebody's name in there, you can make it colors, make the text a little bit bigger. It really works. It really works quite well. You can see there. Again, like I said, the glare of the light makes it a little bit difficult to see, but you can see it. And it fits just perfectly inside. So that's super quick. I mean, it took us 30 minutes to do that, but if you're making quite a few of them, you could make so many of them so quickly. Very, very cute. Hi Wilhelmine, welcome. Yes, I haven't actually done a YouTube live in, I think, a year and a half, which is quite crazy. So I'm very excited to be here. The last time I did a YouTube live, I think we had lots of super chats, which was amazing. And I managed to buy this camera because of that. So I mean, I was super grateful for that. All right, the next one that we're going to go through. Oh, I know, me too. The rainbow effect on the bauble is just absolutely gorgeous. All right, the next one that we're going to go through is going to be this one. Now, this bowl is just a random bowl. Hi Angela, welcome. It's just a random bowl that I bought at the Crazy Store. It was 100 Rand, and I figured that this would be lovely to put some decor on or something like that. So basically what we're going to do with this is we're going to get some nice designs, and we're going to cut them out of vinyl and stick them on the inside and use that as a template. Now, you can use any vinyl, removable vinyl, permanent vinyl. I like to use the colors that I don't really like the most, like the oranges and yellows. I'm sorry, I'm not an orange and yellow person. And those are the colors that I like to use for my stencils because it's the colors that you never use. You're not gonna, it doesn't matter what color the vinyl is because you're going to peel it off afterwards. And then I hope that this still works because I bought this last year, but this is snow spray. So what I'm going to do is we're going to make a little snow spray bowl with a vinyl decal. So we're going to go over to Cricut Design Space and start designing our project, which I'm very excited for. And we have lots of people joining us for this project, which again is very exciting. And there we go. There we go. Okay, so we're done with this project, and I am going to share these with you guys as well. So if you want to see the if you want to be able to make these projects afterwards, then you'll be able to find them on my Design Space profile. Oh, Zelda's here as well. She also uses the ugly colors for the stencils. Yeah, because like I said, the color doesn't matter. So why would you use the nice colors? Well, let's get rid of the colors that we don't like. All right, so I'm going to save this project so that you guys can use it. And then I'm going to start a new one so that we can work on a new project that you guys can use. Thea, I'm so glad that you like the end project. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're going to first look for images. Now, because of the way that the bowl is, right? A bowl is round both laterally and vertically. So when it comes to putting something on the actual bowl itself, if you have a design that is too big, it's going to crease in the corners and at the top and at the bottom. It might be flat along the side, but on the rest of the corners, it'll crease. So the first thing we have to keep in mind is the size of the actual design that we're going to use. And then secondly, we're going to put the stencils on the inside of the glass. So they can't be too difficult because it might be tricky for us to put the transfer tape on the inside. So what I would suggest for this kind of a project is maybe try and stick to also, again, depending on the bowl that you have. Hi Serenity, welcome from California. Glamaxy Jean, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, but welcome. Thank you so much. So what we need to do then is I'm going to try and choose some simple designs. So like we'll try and choose some Christmas trees and things like that. So let's go to, in Cricut Design Space, we're going to go to Images. And if you see me squinting, it's because I don't have my glasses on and I can't read properly. So maybe I'll just put them on now while we are designing in Cricut Design Space, because then I can see properly. All right, so I want to add in some Christmas trees. And then maybe want to add in like a Santa sleigh somewhere as well. So I'm going to try and create like a scene, almost like, I hesitate to say like a nativity scene, but like a Christmas foresty scene type thing. So I want to try and look for just a solid object that's not going to be too wide, even a plain. Ooh, Sophia is coming to us from Greece. That is awesome. Welcome. Okay, I really like those Christmas trees. I'm going to select those, and then I want to add in Santa sleigh. And this is pretty much perfect for what I want. It's not too detailed, and yet it still has all of the elements that I want. So I'm going to add those two to my canvas for now, and then we can work on the actual design. All right, now for this one, I don't want the fresh cut Christmas trees, so I'm just going to delete that layer. And out of this design, I just want the trees. I don't want any of those little elements at the bottom. So I'm going to click contour. I'm going to click hide all contours because I actually just want one of the trees. And then I'm going to duplicate it so that I have a few of them. Because I want to add a few of them all around the inside. Oh, welcome from Edenvale. Ooh, Christine with the big brain ideas, the little house silhouettes. I like that. So let's search for house. Or I suppose I should search for like a Christmas village, but I suppose any kind of house silhouette would look so cute. We could add a few. So I think I like See, I love it when you guys are interactive and you give me suggestions and things like that, because when you're working with these designs, when you have multiple suggestions, your design only gets better. So let's add a few trees, a few little villages, a few little houses. That one I can also add in and just cut off. So I want to add just a few different houses. But not too many, because we don't want it to be too busy. Oh, welcome, Wilhelmine. Well, welcome to Cricut. I've already said welcome to the live stream. Ooh, cat, that's a good idea. Add a Grinch. Let's see if we have a Grinch, because I know that he is trademarked. We might just have the word Grinch. We might not actually have the actual Grinch itself. I'm pretty sure I uploaded a Grinch a while back. But what I can do is there we go. I can search for one and upload it into Design Space. So if I want to do a little Grinch like sneaking off, and you guys can't really see this. Let's look here. So I'll show you what the kind of things are that I search for. So let me show you here. All right. Grinch silhouette sneaking. Because that's exactly what I want. I want him sneaking off somewhere, maybe even with presents. So like this silhouette would be perfect. It seems like there are quite a few silhouettes here that I can use. But those aren't really all that great. Let's look for SVG in the name as well. Yes, Christine, that's exactly what I have in my mind as well. Him sneaking off. SVG. So Thea, we've got the reindeer. We could totally do a snowman. I don't want to add too much to it because I don't want it to be too detailed. But the reindeer we will have in the sky with the sleigh. I honestly thought that there might have been more. This one kind of works, so I can add this one. Okay, so I'm going to save that to my computer, and I'm going to call it Grinch. I'm going to save it under the craft along. I'm going to go back to Cricut Design Space, and I'm going to add those to my canvas because I've got nice houses. And then I'm going to upload the Grinch image that we just saved. Okay, now it is a simple, so it's black and white. So it's a simple image that we're uploading. There's just two colors, and immediately it's already going to discern what is there and what is not. So we can just remove the background. So I just used the little wand tool thingy to just remove the background, and then you can see it's got those white and gray blocks. Now what's important when you're uploading an image is to preview the cut image. So that's what it's going to look like when you actually cut the image. That little outline. Perfect. It's exactly what we need. Not too complicated. I don't need to do anything else. We can just click apply and continue. And then it's just a plain cut image. So I'm just going to select cut image. If you wanted to retain the colors, like if it was a full color image, you wanted to use print then cut, you could then select print then cut, but I just need to cut the outline. So I'm just going to click upload. And then I'm going to add it to my canvas as well. Okay, now we start working with our actual design. We've got lots of elements on the canvas and I want to start working with it. So this is where I whip out my ruler again and start figuring out what size I want everything to be. So print then cut. So you have your normal Epson Canon printer. You will take a design, print it out on your printer, and then your Cricut will cut around the outside if you have flattened your image correctly. So you can print your own stickers, like as an example. I recently did some print and cut stickers. I'm not sure where they are right now, but you can just print out an actual image, so like a photo or something with more than one color. You're not going to cut it out of vinyl. Yes, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to slice off the steps to have just the Grinch. All right, now the diameter of this bowl is around 15 centimeters and the height is around 17 centimeters. All right, so this is going to be difficult to gauge, but I would rather make things a little bit too small and then recut them as opposed to having them too big. So I'm just going to select everything, make it a bunch smaller, and maybe what we can do is I'm going to add a shape to my canvas, and I'm going to make it roughly the height of the bowl. So I said that the height of the bowl was it's about 17.5, just so that I can gauge the sizing of everything, kind of. Now this isn't going to be exact because the bowl is curved on the top and the bottom and curved on the side. So it's just a rough outline of how big we're going to make everything. I'm also going to slice off the bottom of this as well. So I want to remove the part of this design at the bottom here. I just want the house. So I'm going to take a shape. Yes, print and cut only works on the Joy Extra and all of the other machines. It doesn't work on the original Joy. And I've just got another square on the other side, and I'm just going to slice to remove those sections and then select those two and slice that as well so that I have my house. So you can only slice 2 layers at a time, and I can just delete that. I'm going to click contour and I'm going to remove that bottom section, and then I'm going to remove the top of the tree. So now we just have our tree. So I just overlapped the edges with a little block and selected only 2 layers at a time and then just slice them out. It's very simple. So we have our house and we have another house, just a bunch of different houses, and I'm going to make them quite small because I don't want them to be, again, like I said, when you're working on a curved bowl, I'm just sending that block to the back so that I can see my houses. When you're working with a curved bowl, you have to keep in mind the size of your designs. You need them to be small so that they don't warp and look funny. So I might even just duplicate all of these houses. So I'm going to right click and duplicate. And I'm not going to worry about the spacing of the houses for now. I might just delete that one. And I'm going to select this one. And I'm going to flip it the other way around. And I'm going to flip this one as well. Just so we have a little bit of a variation. I'm not going to worry about like I said, sizing of these houses, because I want to put some trees in between, and I also want to have the Grinch somewhere. I want to be able to every time when I'm working these things, I always get distracted and then I lose my train of thought. I want to be able to have my trees, and I'm not going to worry, because I'm going to cut them all separately. Sorry, my words are just not with me today. And if I don't use all of them, that's also fine. So now this little Santa, I want to make that smaller because I don't want it to be that big. I want it to just be at the top of the bowl. And then this little Grinch, we're going to do the same thing as what we did to the house. So I'm going to slice off the stairs so that he's just creeping around on his by himself. So I'm going to again add a shape to the canvas, and I'm just going to hover it there underneath his feet. So I'm just zooming in so that I can see what I'm doing, and I'm hovering it there just underneath his feet. Okay, I'm then going to select him as well. So in the layers panel, you can see I have the square selected and I have the Grinch selected because they've got that little green line behind them. And then I'm going to click slice, and I'm going to delete that. Oh, deleted too many things. And then I just zoom out, delete the stairs, and then I'm going to use the contour feature again to remove out this little piece here. You can slice it out as well, but I just contour it out. It's easier. And then I'm going to make him the right size. So I'm going to make him quite small. And size him up there as well. I think that this tree might be the house might be a little bit too big. I'm going to add in some more trees. If you want to cover like the entire section, then I would always recommend making more smaller objects as opposed to having too many big ones. And I'm just giving the trees different sizes so that they look a little bit varied. Okay. So those are all the elements that we're going to have on our bowl. Christine, it's going to look so much fun. And it's the nice thing about using this is you can just wash it out and use it throughout the year for something else. Like, it doesn't even have to be for this. You can even add some snow in if you want as well, but I think I'm going to leave that for now. So this is essentially what we have. We have a whole bunch of trees, some houses that we're all going to cut. Now, they're all different colors. All right? So they're all different colors. They're all different objects. It's not going to look as nice if we don't make sure that or it's not going to work as easily if we don't cut them all out of the same color. So I'm going to click on Color Sync at the top. And I'm going to just drag everything to the one color so that we're all cutting it out on the same mat. That Cricut Design Space is then going to organize it for us. So I'm just clicking on the object and dragging it to the color. It doesn't matter what color you choose. You kind of just all want them to be the same color. Or what you can also do is select all of them and then just change the color up at the top here to be whatever color you want. But if you want them to all be like a specific color, you can do that. You can use battery-powered candles inside the bowl. Yes, and I actually have a few. They're actually downstairs, but I do have one over there, which I think would work quite nicely. All right, we have everything that we want. So I'm going to, first of all, save this project. So we're going to save this as Christmas bowl. Save it under Christmas. And then I'm going to wait for that little pop-up to go away. I'm going to click make. And now we get to the fun part of cutting everything. So Cricut Design Space doesn't organize everything very optimally. You can do this on your canvas as well, but I like to just sometimes, if I'm being lazy, just optimize it here. If I do this, and then we can just peel these off and then stick them on the bowl, because they don't have to be, they're not going to be lined up, because we want to make sure that we're getting everything lined up properly. If you're going to make this project a few times, then you definitely want to make sure that you do this on the canvas and not here on this section of the mat. Okay, nothing's overlapping. It takes a village. Absolutely takes a village. Okay. So now I'm just optimizing things on my mat a little bit, making sure that I don't use up too much vinyl. I can save the vinyl a little bit. There we go. Okay, I'm happy with that. I don't need to spend too much time on this, so I'm going to then click continue. And once again, I'm going to select premium vinyl, permanent glossy, and I'm going to put the pressure up to more. I love Tetris. I love Cricut Tetris. Cricut Tetris is one of my absolute favorite things. Okay, we're going to switch over to the overhead camera. My absolute favorite thing. Woo! Okay, now we are going to... Thank you, Orla. It's great to have you. I'm also using a computer, which is a lot easier than using a cell phone or using a tablet or something like that. So don't stress. This is not a competition. Not a competition. Okay. So I'm using the same vinyl that I used earlier. I know that I said that I would use, maybe I should use the orange. I think I want to use the orange rather, because I kind of like the silver. Silver is always useful for something. So Orla, what we're going to do is we're putting this vinyl, we're using it as a stencil for a little Christmas decor bowl. Is this piece of vinyl even going to be big enough? No, I don't think so. No, it needs to be about half the mat size. And what I do when I buy multiples of the same color of multi-pack, I just put them all in the same, as opposed to having multiple rolls. So you'll see there's lots of different colors in here, lots of different rolls, packs. So if I buy 4 of these, I'll take them all out and I'll put them all into one little pack so that I have just one of them. So much easier. Okay. Now this might take a while to cut, so while this is cutting, we can actually move on to the next project, which is going to be fun. Instead of just sitting here and talking, which is also fun. The next project is something that we don't really have to focus on too much. which I love. Okay, so now let me just get a little bit of chaos and order. All right, so this project is going to be so whenever I work on something fell, I don't know what it was. Whenever I work on Infusible Ink projects, I always save like my offcuts. You can see these are from the mug press templates and things like that. I always save these, as you can see, in one big container. And now is the type of project where I like to use them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for the I don't think I actually even have very many of the, what do they call it, tartan? Buffalo check, sorry. The buffalo check ones, because I don't think I've made very many mugs with that. And I also keep all of the desiccant as well, so you can see all of the desiccant in there to try and keep this as dry as possible, because it can't get moisture on it. And I try and keep it as neat as I can, so I don't just shove them in there. I try as far as I can to keep them flat so that they don't squash, because when they crease, that affects what the design is going to look like once it's been transferred. You see there's a little piece, but that's not narrow and not wide enough. Okay, so that's fine. At least I've looked through my stash. These I must actually also take out because I don't need these, but these are just this is just little polyester squares, which I suppose you can use for a different project. That's kind of why I keep them. Alright, so now that I've looked through my scraps and I've realized that I don't have any that will fit, that is perfectly fine. I like to get into the habit of looking through my scraps because I find myself always reaching for like a new piece, and then when I'm finished with the next project I'm like, oh, I should have actually used this piece, it would have been perfect. And then I, you know, could wait, I could have saved a whole piece. So I'm going to use this one and then cut it down so that it will work with this. So now these are little pieces of white perspex, white acrylic. You can get not these designs specifically on Amazon, but like many different kinds. These are from Customizable, which is a local South African company, and they had these on special during their Black November sale. So I'm just taking off the protective sheet on either side. So you can see there it's a little clear sheet. Okay. My viewfinder just died as I was looking at it, so I got a little bit of a fright. And then what I'm going to do is cut down this so that it matches the size. So we're going to cut it down within the middle of this one here. And then I'm going to cut it down to size that side as well. Now you will notice that when I cut it, sorry, wrong way. When I cut it down to size, I cut it a little bit bigger than the actual blank itself. You don't want to have little white edges sticking out. That's not fun. And then I can actually get 3 in on this little piece here. Okay, so I'm going to cut it just over there. So I can get 3 out of one piece, 3 sides. So I have my Easy Press Mini, and I'm going to warm it up to 2 bars. I probably should do 3, but let's do 3. It's fine. And it warms up pretty quickly, so while we're busy getting this together, we can... Oh, that's the wrong one. All right. So what I like to do with this is place it on the infusible ink. Do you only use Cricut infusible sheets? No. So you can use any brand infusible sheets, it doesn't matter. You can also use sublimation. It's exactly the same thing, exactly the same principle. Everything is the same. There we go, it is warm. So now I'm also just going to cut a piece of copy paper, because with infusible ink, the outside will heat up and will bleed. Now sublimation means the passing of a liquid state to a gas state without, from passing from a solid to a gas state without passing the liquid phase. So essentially what that means is the ink converts into a gas without becoming a liquid. So we want to make sure that if that gas goes anywhere else, everything else that we have is protected. So I've put it inside a piece of paper, and then I've got a Teflon sheet on either side. The heat will still pass through, but the ink will not be able to get through. So now we just press it for about 60 seconds, 45, 60 seconds. Wilhelmine says, can I also use a normal iron? I wouldn't recommend it for large projects, but for small projects like this, you can. Even the Easy Press Mini. For small projects, it works perfectly. For larger projects, it is recommended to use a bigger press. So if you have a press that is 9x9 and you're doing an 8x8 design, then that works perfectly. If you have a smaller press and you've got to press different sections, it becomes difficult, and you will get ghosting, you will get overcooking on some areas, so it's a little bit difficult to work on the bigger ones. So as soon as that clock goes 9:14, then I'm going to, because I'm not counting, I'm not that good, and I haven't set a timer, so I'm just watching the time, and I'm pressing down relatively hard. I don't want to press down too hard because the perspex is plastic, so it will kind of, soften. Okay, 9:14, there we go. And now what we do is we slowly unwrap our infusible ink sandwich, and then we check to see that the design has transferred properly, and it did beautifully. So you see there how the infusible ink is transferred onto the paper itself. Now that is what I mean when I say that the ink will then go everywhere. So had I not had this piece of paper, it would have gone onto my Teflon sheet, which is not the end of the world because it is a Teflon sheet, but it's still better to not. Right, then this is very hot, so I'm going to just flip it over, try and get that dot off, whatever that is. And then I'm going to put it in the same place, and I'm going to take the other piece of infusible ink and lay that down. I might even try and line it up again like I did with this one. Okay, let's move that out the way, move that on there, and then let us just go and press it then for another minute. So I'm actually going to open the clock now so that I can see. But infusible ink generally 45 seconds or so, 45 seconds to a minute, and then it actually works perfectly. It is really, really easy to use. That's why I like infusible ink. Sublimation is a lot more tricky, and it is a lot more expensive to get into in the beginning, but it's much cheaper in the long run. So I really like the accessibility of infusible ink, but it is very expensive. Like these sheets, right? These are specifically designed for the mug press or for the Joy. These are horrifically expensive if you have to take into consideration what you get. You don't even get one full 12x12 for these, and it's exorbitantly expensive. But if you had to go and print that, with a normal printer, sublimation printer, it would cost you a fraction of the price. But you have to shell out hundreds of dollars or thousands of rands for an expensive printer. So it depends. Okay, so now we take that off and we open up our Infusible Ink sandwich. I like to always just check to see that the color has transferred properly, and it has. So I'm going to just let that cool down in our little sandwich. You can even put it on something heavy on it. I'm just switching off the press for now. And again, that's why I like these little projects, because these things are so stinking cute, and it is really hot still. I mean, just look at that. Now, the only downside of the white Infusible Ink is the sides. The sides don't look as nice. And you can obviously put any kind of Infusible Ink that you want on there. But, Kat, so yes, you can absolutely use Infusible Ink on sublimation earrings. You can make earrings out of these. That's essentially what you can do. You can make earrings, keychains, because they have a little hole at the top. But these, like I said, are, you know, made from a South African supplier. So they wouldn't exactly... So, Louise, essentially what happens is the heat transfers the ink into the substance. And in the moment that it's no longer at that temperature of 180 degrees, because it needs 180 to 200 degree temperature in order for the ink to kind of activate, the moment that it goes below that threshold, it's set. It won't come out. It's completely waterproof, everything. So it's exactly like a mug. You make in the same principle, make mugs, and they and it will never come out unless you heat it again. So that's why I really like these little projects. And then what I've done, you guys saw, I have a little Spectrum Noir acrylic paint pen. You can also use, I think you can use gilding pens as well. And just color the outside. Now this one doesn't go all the way into the edges, but I will show you a little hack that I have learned or figured out. So you see it doesn't quite get into those little grooves while the paint is still wet. Oh, which I think it's dried quickly because this blank is still a little bit hot. Just leave a little bit of a dot of wet ink there, and then you push the ink down with your... Oh, sorry you guys, you can't see. So you just leave a little bit of wet, a dot of wet ink over there, and then you just press it down with your wheeling pen. There we go. And then you press it down. And you see there, now you've gotten in all of those little grooves that you wouldn't have gotten in ordinarily. There we go. Thank you, Mom. I absolutely love these. I've also got a set of clear. So I want to try this on the clear acrylic as well and see what it looks like. Woo. And it dries pretty quickly because it's like acrylic paint pen. So you don't have to worry too much about it taking too long to dry unless you put a ton of paint on. Thank you guys. I'm here trying to squint and see this properly when I'm realizing that I'm not actually I keep drawing on the outside. I'm trying to see under my glasses the whole time. But I'm so glad that you guys are all here. This is such a fun live stream. And I'm very grateful that you guys all came, even though it was very short notice. So I'm gonna let that dry for a few moments. But that is our little Christmas tree. And of course, if you want to, I don't know where the other one ran off to. Oh, there we go. You can also, so this one I did at 2 bars. So you can see the difference between 2 bars and 3 bars. This one looks much better. But it depends on the kind of look that you're going for. This is a little bit more muted. And that one is a lot more bright and vibrant. They really can, Mike. Glad to see you with us. Oh, Sasha. Hi. Welcome. Welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you. So, yeah, you can put these on little keychains. You can add a title to it. And it's, like I said, it's great to use your offcuts because I hate wasting vinyl and things like that. So I love projects where I can actually use my offcuts. They are a lot of fun. All right, now the vinyl has finished cutting, so we're going to go back to the... I'm probably going to need that in a moment. We're going to go back to the project that we were working on a moment ago. Okay, I'm just going to double check to see that the cut has cut properly. Okay, it has cut properly. So now we can carry on with the other project. All righty then. And I'm going to put the cover of my mat back on because this is a pretty new mat and I don't want cat hair getting all over it because knowing Fred, that is exactly what would happen. Alright, so I'm going to cut this vinyl down. Just so that I'm not wasting too much, because we're all about not wasting here. And I just want to make sure that all of the designs are past that little section, because I always end up cutting off the bottom of something, whether it's a foot or an arm or the edge of a tree or something, constantly. Okay. Oh, thank you so much, Sasha. Yeah, I enjoy doing classes here on YouTube. So now we're just going to weed it, and it should be quite an easy weed. And by classes, I mean live streams. Okay. So I'm just going to give this a gentle tug every now and then if it doesn't quite come through. Like around the antlers as an example. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult. So you just want to take it slow. People that weed too fast give me anxiety, like hectic anxiety. Do you guys also feel it? Okay. Okay, this is weeding like a dream, guys. Like a dream. Our Grinch came out perfectly. And I'm very excited to see how this comes out. We've got all our little trees and our off-cut vinyl. And now we can weed out all of the windows. This is where I wish that I had like a fast forward type thingy. Oh, sorry, wrong way. And I could just zoom like in like an edited video, just cut to when it's already weeded. I'm glad that I brought myself an energy drink. My energy levels were very low today. Okay, so let's try and speed through this weeding. So I'm going to try and not look up so that I can get all of these windows and doors. Sometimes I just try and do multiple windows and doors at the same time. There we go. Every now and then it works, and every now and then it doesn't. Does it? Okay. And obviously all the houses are different, because houses are all different. Well, most of them. Okay, let's pull out that little tree. There, there. Okay. And if you don't weed as fast as me, don't worry. This is not a competition. We're not comparing ourselves. I've been doing this for a very long time. Okay. Every now and then they just don't pick up properly. Okay, pick up the door. Come on. Trying to weed too quickly now. There we go. Nothing to weed in the Grinch. See, and you can be a little bit aggressive with the weeding as well. You don't have to be super soft and careful. There we go. All the windows and doors weeded. Thank you, cat. Our houses like people. We are all different. Yes, exactly. Sophia. I wish I was the Flash. That would be so cool. But yeah, that's all done. Now I've got pieces of vinyl stuck to me, and I will probably be finding them for the next couple of weeks. Okay, now we take our bowl. Now, the most important part, weeding. I absolutely love weeding, Christine. Absolutely love it. What I used to do when I got my first Cameo, because I obviously started on the Cameo side, not on the Cricut side, I'm just going to clean this with an alcohol swab. These are really important to make sure, I suppose the vinyl isn't staying on here permanently, but you still want a clean work surface. So let's just get that out. What I used to do was I used to cut a 12 by 12 mandala and then just weed the whole thing. So that was a lot of fun. Okay, so we're just giving it a nice wipe down just to make our lives easier. It is relatively clean, but I also just want to make sure that it is nice and clean. Okay. I think I've gotten the whole thing now. Like I said, this wasn't a very expensive bowl. It's like a cheapish kind of bowl. And if you're doing this for the first time, I wouldn't suggest a fishbowl type bowl. I would suggest one maybe with straight edges, just to make your life a little bit easier. My turtle weeding project. I don't remember that one. But that's not unusual because I don't remember a lot of things. Okay, so I'm just going to use my top as like a guide. All right. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, because I've chosen the nice simple I don't need to, the simple houses and whatnot. I don't need to use transfer tape. So what I'm going to do, I'm literally just going to peel them off, just like that. And I'm going to place them down wherever I want to have them. Alright, so you see, even at this size, because of the shape of the bowl, you see how we have a little, like a crease over here. Let's go in there. So you see, this is what I'm talking about right here, is the little crease. Because it's not flat, it's rounded. So that's why I was saying, like, we have to be careful about the size of the design, because if we go too big, it's not going to be visible. You also want to make sure that from the outside, when you're looking at the bowl, that your design is high enough. Now maybe that's not high enough. Maybe I should go a little bit higher. So I'm just going to peel it off. And then place it a little higher. Gently tack it down. I think that looks better, because when the bowl is lying on the counter like that, you don't want everything coming up. Maybe we could even, you know, put something in there. We can put snow in there or something like that. Alright, so I'm going to then just tack this one down. And this is not like etching cream. Alright, so we just need to kind of form a blockage over the top. But like I said, it's not like etching cream where you have to worry about the vinyl being completely stuck down and whatnot on these designs. You want it to be as far down as you can, but you don't have to get all of the bubbles out. So we can just Devereaux. That's hilarious. The only reason I'm laughing is because I've done that before as well. So don't worry, you are not alone. It just takes a little bit of practice, but please don't. This is a judge-free zone. I should have taken out that thing that Charisse gave me. I wonder if I can get it quickly. Okay, so this is a silicone cup holder. Now, for those of you in South Africa, I got this from Cherico Designs. It is awesome, because now what we can do, well, I can actually do it like that, is it can hold, maybe I should do it on the flat surface rather. It'll hold the bowl and not scratch it. So I can reach inside and not have to worry about everything moving around. Lisa. Yes. Hi Lisa. Okay, so now we can start with our kind of design-ish. Figure out how we want to lay it out. Okay. Have a house, and then maybe a tree. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is a little imperfect village. So I'm actually going to do this at an angle because I think that this might be easier. What you can also do is you can also wet it on the inside, but I wouldn't really suggest that, because then when you go to spray the snow, it might not actually stay all that well. So I'm not going to put that house down. I'm going to put a different house down. Okay. And of course, we don't have to use all of the houses. They don't all have to be on the same level. It doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. That's a good idea, Christine. But the problem is that, like, even when it comes to those weeding hacks where they say you should weed on the mat, I can't stand that because I like to move the thing around too much. So it's going to be difficult for you guys to see unless I turn the manual focus, the autofocus off. If I select that there. Okay, I've turned the autofocus off so that it'll keep focusing on the inside over there for you guys. And then let's do a nice tall thin tree. Oh. And then we can do a short fat tree. Maybe overlap them a little bit. And then we can do the big house. So there's no real right or wrong way to place this. I am just using my weeding tool to help lift up the vinyl off the mat. And then just placing it down. So you see, even this tree, even this house is a little bit big for what we want. Because it's starting to crinkle quite a bit over there, you see? So again, make sure that your designs are as small as you can have them. If you have a round bowl like this one, but also once you spray the snow on, it's not gonna really look too bad. So don't stress about it too much. I still think this is gonna look super cute. And like I said, this is an easy craft because it's vinyl, but the vinyl doesn't really matter too much. And you can play around with it. There's no real rhyme or reason to how the vinyl needs to stick down. And then I also need to make sure that we put our Grinch down. I think I'm going to put him in between two trees. So let's do the Grinch. So you can see I'm just using my weeding tool to lift him up carefully because he's got a few little areas that are delicate. This is so cute. So cute. So we've got the little Grinchy over there. Adorable. Are you guys enjoying the stream? Please give it a like and whatnot. I always love doing these things for you guys. It's a lot of fun for me, and I hope that you guys are having fun as well. Okay, next house. Oh wait, we said we were going to do a tree on the either side of the Grinch. Maybe we do a big tree. Great. Great. I'm glad to be doing a very public live stream now as well. There we go. Cool. Then let's do this house again. There we go. And again, a few little crinkles are not the end of the world for this kind of a project. And then I'm going to do 2 trees. Yeah, I'm so glad that so many of you are here as well. It really means a lot to me that you guys all showed up and came through. There we go. So our little... So now let's turn the autofocus back on. And there we go. It doesn't have to be a perfect bowl. And then, like I said, you could totally put some things on the top as well if you wanted to have like stars or something like that coming from the top. But I didn't particularly want that for this bowl. That's not the idea that I had. And if you want to do words, just remember to mirror them so that they are coming from the outside. Okay, so we're going to place our Santa sled. I think I might rather use transfer tape for this one. Just because there's more pieces. Doing it all in one piece makes me nervous. So I'm rather just going to use transfer tape. Okay, so we just burnish it on very well. Oh, yes, there we go. I am using the sleigh. Absolutely. Just wanted to get the houses and the trees down first. Okay. There we go. Could you leave the vinyl in the bowl and fill it with water? You could, Louise. I'm not sure how it would look. You would need to make sure that you keep it, that you press the vinyl down very well, so that it doesn't lift off. But vinyl isn't particularly water safe. You can get water resistant vinyl that they use on boats and things like that. But craft vinyl, I suppose if you're going to be using it for like a month or two, it'll be fine. So I'm going to then place this up here right at the top. And on the other side of the Grinch as well. Okay. I'm just going to burnish it on gently because obviously this is glass. There we go. And now for the fun part, the part that I have been thinking about in my head and I'm very excited for, the frosting. And again, like I said, I hope that this frosting works. I'm just going to shake it off camera so that it's not too loud. And now we frost. probably should have worn a mask for this as well. I would suggest doing this outside if you can. Ooh, let's hope that this frost is not finished or old. Snow spray, okay. Woo! Okay, let me turn the fan off, because I have a feeling that that's not a good idea. It's not quite the frosting that I had in mind, but let's see. I'm going to try and do it. There we go, yes. Perfect. Oh, sorry. Oopsie daisy. Doesn't seem to be the best frosting. I think it's finished now. So buy yourself some good quality frosting, people. No, there is nothing coming out. All right, now we try and figure out, number one, how we are going to clean all of this, because there is stuff everywhere, but that's fine. That's my problem for later. Now, I want to see how long it's going to take to get all of the stuff off. If we should let it to dry for a little bit and then take it off. No, it should wash away. So you should be able, I mean, it's just frosting that you would put on your windows and things like that. So that's why I said, that's why I like this kind of idea for a project, because you can then just wash this down and then use this bowl throughout the rest of the year. You could probably seal it with something if you wanted it to be permanent, but I don't. Or I don't really, not necessarily. So let's just try with... Let's try with a tree. Try and take a tree off and see if it is ready yet. So I'm going to do this very carefully. Grabbing the inside of the tree. Looks like it's just about ready to come off, so that's great. There we go. So you see, there's our little tree. And if you really wanted to, I suppose you could keep that tree and put it somewhere else with the frosting on the other side. And then you just carry on going throughout the rest of them, being careful to not like scratch anything. It actually smells like a pharmacy. Do this very carefully. I've already taken some of the frosting off. I'm not so sure if we're going to retain the detail on our Santa sleigh. I think maybe the detail on that one was a little bit too what do you call it? But I mean, look at how cute that is. Oh. go. Oh, don't worry, Jessica. I already have, so it's fine. It's like I said, it's not a competition. Oh, and Jessica, now that you're a channel member, you can also send a free super chat. So super chats are the audience's way of like saying thank you for a live stream. The donations, the majority of the donation goes to me. YouTube takes a fair chunk of it, which is always exciting for me. But the channel members get their own little super chat to send, which is super cute. Guess we lost quite a lot of detail on the windows. That's why I thought we would. That's why I didn't want to do more than one of those. There we go. Heart palpitations. I know. I know. Okay, we lost the windows on those ones. It's obviously just not a very good quality snow because it's taking a lot of it with it. But you see what I mean? Like, you don't have to worry about the bubbles and things like that because they don't matter. If you were doing this with glass etching, then yes, they would. And if you want to put something inside the bowl, then you can always do this on the outside of the bowl as well. So down the bottom, just underneath the chat, there is a little smiley icon, and then there's a little icon next to it. That's where the super chats are. Okay, now I want to be careful with the Grinch. I say that and then I like mess it up. I wonder how much of the detail. Okay. It still kind of looks like the Grinch. With their 10th super on a live stream. That's awesome. Gee, Stray, you've been a member for 27 months. That is ridiculous. Amazing. Thank you so much, Mike. Oh, that's awesome. That is so cool. What does it say? Let's celebrate. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, that's so nice. Thank you, Mike. And thank you, Dre, for being a channel member for 27 months. That's crazy. You are... I don't deserve you. You are very special. Okay, now let's hold thumbs for this little tray. I think, like I said, I think if you got a better quality snow, then you would get a better result. She's 25 months, Christine. What? That's crazy. Oh, it looks like I forgot to weed out that little part. Awkward. Oh, Dre, you're so cute. I mean, what you could always do is you could always put these in black vinyl and then just leave them on if you wanted to keep the detail. I think that could also look super cute. So obviously when it comes to this detail, you don't really see it all that much. You lose quite a bit of the detail. There we go. We have the little Santa. It looks a little bit strange, but the little village at the bottom looks so cute. And this could be an adorable little centerpiece for a table or something like that. I think it's... Oh, Jessica, thank you. Let's celebrate their first live stream chat, super chat. Woo! I wonder, and like it says, let's celebrate, but like, how do I celebrate? There we go. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that this is something that you would try? I might recommend leaving the vinyl on. Ooh, using clear vinyl. That's also a good option. I mean, there's lots of different ways that you can take something like this. It's a very fun craft. And like I said, I think with a better snow, it might give you a better result. Yeah. Oh, my workstation is so messy now. But geez, guys, it's 10 o'clock. What? How have we been crafting for 2 hours? Like, that's ridiculous. Now that needs to go into the bin. It can't go obviously in the recycling. But I'm so glad that we got to craft along together today. Gold vinyl, Thea, you are onto, especially because my colors are red and gold this year. I don't know if you've noticed, like all of my social media, everything's have been green and gold, red and gold. So that is absolutely my color theme for this year. So, oh, there we go. Oh, I said we were going to try the clear one of these. So let me just give this a quick wipe down. So that I can put the rest of the stuffies on there. I don't know why I'm brushing it further into the table. I should brush it out of the table, off the table. So I can maybe just pop it into the bowl and have that as a... Oh, even I'm covered in white snow stuff. There we go. See, I use alcohol swabs for like everything. If I didn't, the alcohol swabs are probably the one thing that I always have around me, like at all times in my crafting arsenal. They are just so useful. And they're so cheap that it doesn't actually matter that you use them for everything. I'm gonna have to vacuum my floor tomorrow as well. But that's fine. Let's just warm this up again. And then I'm going to get out the clear trees. There are the clear trees. Oh, I'm so glad, Ken. Oh, no worries, Kat. We're almost done. We're just going to quickly do a clear one with the... of these. Whoopsie daisy. So I'm just going to finish the live stream off with just one of these, and then we're also going to be going. I say we, like there's more than one person in this room. Well, my husband's here as well, but not right now. Oh, thank you, Mom. Out of date hand sanitizer. Oh, that's interesting, Orla. That's so kind of you. I'm most definitely not perfect. I make mistakes all the time. And also, I try and leave them in my videos as well when I make a mistake on a project, because I find that people like relate to you a little bit better when you make a mistake and whatnot. So if I do make mistakes on a particular project, like I've messed something up, it's a learning experience for everyone. So why not leave it in, right? Okay, so that is, let's try and line that up perfectly. Okay. Ironically, I'm then going to move it over and then probably twist it. Let's bend that over. And let's Thank you, Mom, again. Oh, you're so sweet. You're so sweet. Acrylic, it doesn't really melt. No. You don't want to like press it for too long. That's why I like using the infusible ink on the acrylic as opposed to sublimation. But you can use sublimation, but you just need to wait for it to cool down before you move it around. You can place it under something heavy until it cools down, then it'll retain its shape. So it won't melt completely, because acrylic, I think when it's cast or extruded, is worked on much higher temperatures. So I've just got another 10 seconds or so on this one. And then you can like bend it and whatnot once you once it's still hot. Sorry. Okay, there. I think it's been about 45 seconds. And there we go. Again, I like to just check to see that it has transferred, and this one is too hot. So what it is doing is it's sticking to the paper, which is fine, but I just want to cool it down on something before removing the paper, because sometimes if the paper is stuck to it, then it's oh, sorry, Wilhelmine, what was your question? Let me scroll up quickly. Let me double check. I don't see your question. Can you ask it again, please, if you don't mind? It must have been quite a while ago. So I'm just letting this cool down on the cool surface. Thank you, Wilhelmine. Okay, there we go. So you can see the difference between this and that. Obviously the white, you see how you can obviously see through this one, so it's a lot more transparent, for the lack of a better way of explaining it. So you can see there, you can see through, and if you turn it around, see how that side has gone matte. This one is still, it's a little bit matte, but it's not as matte as this one. So it still looks nice, it still looks cool, but I prefer doing it on the white, obviously, because you have a stronger contrast and the colors stand out a little bit more. But it also, again, depends on what look you're going for, because that's a nice soft muted look, and then this one is a little bit more stark, but then you have to cover both sides. So it depends on what you're going for. I really like both. And I suppose with this one you don't have to do the edges. You can do the edges if you want to. You can totally do that still. It would look pretty cool. Let's just... My husband is eating snacks without me. I can hear it. The audacity of some men. How do you do your UV resin on a keyring? Because you try and it doesn't come out smooth. I have a video on the UV keyrings, so that might be a better one to ask or watch, because then I can actually show you kind of how to do it. But it should come out smooth if you put enough on. If it's not coming out smooth, you're probably not adding enough UV resin. You can also make it smoother. Yeah, I know, Dre, the audacity of some men. You can also make it smooth by letting it self-level, so leaving it for a moment or so before you cook it. that might also be another reason. So you see that also looks really nice. Just on the edge there. Very cute. You haven't gotten into sublimation yet, but you may play with the Infusible Ink and then maybe explore sublimation. Exactly, Ken. That's why I like Infusible Ink, because it's a nice gateway. You can start playing around with it a little bit without having such big costs up front. But Infusible Ink is very nice, but sublimation, there are so many things you can do. And I think that the next live stream we do with more Cricut crafts, I've got some fun sublimation ones lined up. So I'm going to need to pick some photos and have my friend print them for me, because I do have a sublimation printer, but it's kind of out of action. It's a Sawgrass, and its ink tank is full, and the inks are empty. Ironically, the waste tank is full. Sorry, the inks are empty, and I'll just get a friend of mine to print them for me before the class, and then I'll show you how I printed them in the class, and then we can the live stream, and then we can just use them together. It's a lot of fun. So you guys must watch out for another live stream that'll be coming. I'm thinking Thursday, but I'm going to have to see how my week pans out. Thursday is normally a little bit of it's a nice day, but it's normally a little bit tricky because I normally have a video going live on Thursdays. But this would also work better if you had a thinner pen. This is I think it's a 3mm marker, so it's a very chunky one. But I mean, look at how cute that is. You could have it as a little thing on a charm. Oh, I messed that up there. That's fine. Each side of the acrylic a white background, and then use infusible sheets if you'd see the color on the sides, so that you wouldn't need to color the edge. You could. That would be a lot more extra steps though, because you would have to make sure that you use something like, I would rather than just HTV it. Use just normal HTV on the acrylic, because if you're doing it white and then adding color, you would need to make sure that you could sublimate. It would need to be flock, or it would need to be in glow in the dark or something like that. And even so, then when it comes to using flock and glow in the dark and anything that's not designed for sublimation, it doesn't retain the colors very well. I must actually do a post showing what sublimation on glow in the dark looks like, or Infusible Ink on glow in the dark looks like after like 30 washes, because I have a shirt that I made that looked beautiful when I made it, and now it looks awful because the ink is all bled, because it's been washed and washed and washed and washed. So yeah, I was also missing Charisse tonight. Maybe she's out. Ken, you can actually clean the waste tank in a Sawgrass. You can take it out. As long as you don't cut a few different things, you can actually clean the entire waste tank and then just put it back in. You don't need to buy a new one. The Sawgrass inks are very expensive, which is why I'm actually wanting to get rid of the printer. It's just taking up space in my room at this point that I actually need, because I live in a small house. Same happens with glitter HB. Exactly, Jessica. Anything that's not designed for sublimation will work, but it won't work very well in the long run. Just like converted Epson printers. They will work, but they don't work as nicely in the long run. In general. Some people will have printers that have been running for 5 years, but sometimes they won't. Majority won't. Yeah. But I want to say thank you guys so much for joining. I'm thrilled with the little fun projects that we got to make. I had a lot of fun. See there, the little Let It Snow. Again, difficult to see because of the glare. There, kind of. Let it snow. You could probably use a darker color to make it stand out a little bit more. But I'm very chuffed with how that turned out. And then, of course, the bowl as well. That looks super cute. Difficult to show you guys, but it looks adorable. I love it. I love it. I love it. yeah, thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you so much for the super chats as well. I very, very much appreciate it. I try and not put any ads in the middle of live streams because yes, they do help me earn money and pay for everything that I've bought to show you guys here, but the super chats really mean a lot to me. I'm very grateful for them. This is my job. This is my only source of income. So to have people like you guys supporting me and, you know, being grateful for everything that I'm doing very, very much means a lot to me. Just having you guys here means a lot to me. I think there was at one point 50 odd people in the live stream, which was incredible. And yes, this is a over 2 hour live stream, but that's kind of what I enjoy. I might start doing lives more frequently and then do one project. So maybe like a half an hour live stream that's just going to be, or an hour live stream that's just going to be one project, more of a class than an actual live stream. But occasionally I want to do these live streams where we do a couple of projects in one go and just chat, have fun, just have a great time. Yeah. Thank you guys again so very much. I so enjoyed being with you, so enjoyed spending this evening with you, and I cannot wait for the next one. Very excited for this festive season. I've got some great videos coming up, so definitely check those out as well. And I hope that you guys have a lovely day and a lovely evening, lovely weekend, and I will see you guys all next time. Thank you so much again, and remember, be kind to someone today. See you soon.